Megan Hayes, former special assistant to President Biden, and Maura Gillespie, founder of Blue Stack Strategies and previous advisor to former House Speaker John Boehner. Welcome, my friends. So, Maura, Speaker Johnson insists he's not lost control of the House, but as the Washington Post reports, some Republicans are questioning that. But there doesn't seem to be an appetite to oust him and repeat the kind of chaos when Kevin McCarthy lost his job. So where does that leave things?
You know, I think and I hate to go after staff, but I do think there is a member services failure here, because conference is the place to have these conversations. In-house is the place to have these conversations. There needs to be better coordination and communication in leadership and with rank and file members. I think that there is a disconnect there, and that's where you're seeing these frustrations, and you're hearing members put out rumors that they're planning on retiring before the session ends and before their term is up. And that's a problem for Speaker Johnson. And if he wants to continue to keep the semblance of control that he feels he has, he needs to do a better job of reaching out to his members and making sure that their voices and their concerns are being heard and considered. I think that's where you saw those three members from Pennsylvania and then Mike Lawler from New York vote with Democrats, because they're hearing from their constituents. They want to address their concerns. They want to get reelected. And to feel as though your own party and your own leadership isn't listening to you, that's where you really lose people. And you don't have a lot of room if you're Mike Johnson to lose people.
And how big a problem do you think this is going to be in the midterms throughout this year for Republicans, and certainly for getting elected in November? But are they going to have to answer for this all throughout until then?
They may, if they don't lower costs in other areas of, the cost of living is not gone down despite the president's address to the nation the other night. We're not getting paid to buy medications. That's not an accurate 600% statistic that he threw out there. But I think that if other costs don't come down to hopefully, mitigate some of these rises in healthcare costs, then yes, they're going to have to continue to answer for it. So if things don't improve, come August, really, I think you're going to see members going into town hall meetings and talking to their voters and feeling the brunt of this if it doesn't get resolved over these next 9 months.
I was just looking at that graphic. Hey, Josh, put it up one more time. Look at Wyoming. That is Republican country. Good grief. That number is
Virginia
absolutely
too, right?
Stunning. Yeah, all of it. But I mean, right at the top, the biggest impact there. Thank you, Josh. Nearly every plaque claiming President Reagan was a fan of Trump. And the one for President Andrew Johnson says he was treated unfairly by the press, quote, but not as viciously and unfairly as Donald J. Trump would in the future be. Does Trump mistakenly think he, not the American people, owns the White House? And how long do you think it'll take for the next president to return the colonnade to its formerly dignified stature and get these things down?
I don't think there's a more clear way of showing your insecurities than by what he's doing with this. I also think he realizes that he is going to be, when he ends his second term, the oldest president in United States history. That's not necessarily a title he wants. He's all about his legacy. As Megan pointed out, a lot of this has to do with his ego. But these are things that he is thinking of in terms of legacy. He's not going to have, purportedly, I don't know necessarily his lifespan, but there'll be a smaller window than other presidents normally have, albeit exception of Joe Biden, but to make a legacy post-presidency, to show what you're going to be about. And so Trump is putting his name on everything because he's putting his legacy there. He wants to be remembered for all these different things that don't actually help the American people, that don't put an impact on the American economy, that aren't doing a service of what the job is supposed to be. So honestly, this just shows his insecurity and his fears about what his legacy will be. And so he's just throwing his name on everything and throwing his grievances in writing for us to see.
Yeah. And to that end, Megan, how long until the Donald J. Trump part on the Kennedy Center is taken down?
I think Kerry Kennedy kind of said it best, that she'll be up there the day after inauguration if a Democrat wins, and asking someone to hold the ladder and making sure it's a union job to pull that down. I think all this stuff will come down immediately. They will return the Oval Office to its normal look, not a gold Mar-a-Lago dupe. So I think it will come down immediately as a Democrat takes office, or even a more moderate, normal Republican, a sane Republican, not even moderate, just a sane one.
Yeah, what a waste of taxpayer money, putting all this up and down. And anyway, okay, I hope you guys both have a wonderful holiday week ahead. Thank you so much for your time with me.